the script to go off. It's fine. I see the live thing this time. Hey,
Yeah.
Now we see the live thing. We now know it's like, hey, D, hit the record button.
I'm so fucking upset. Like, it's comical, but it's so fucking bad.
We just hear Knox like pulling hard on his face when he comes back.
Just fucking pulling his hair out. Like,
do this shit again.
This is supposed to be fun. I already recorded this once. Feels like a job. Fucking goddamn it.
I guess we're only doing one tonight.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? We might cut this one down. Not like post script, but fucking just because we're like, all right, we already hit the bullets. Let's go.
Oh man.
That's fucking embarrassing. I don't even. I'm so confused by. We did this last week. We did a dry run. I was playing with this. How did I fuck this up? Like, oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh Jesus Christ. So I am literally on the last quest of Shadowbringers. All I have to do is literally it's the prompt where you talk to Alice, and it's like, set some time aside because this shit's about to go down.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of shit, and man, I am so pumped to watch this.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm already just like so enthralled with the 5.4, 5.5 stuff. Like, it's been so great. I didn't think it'd be this good, and I like get it now why people are so crazy.
Yeah, it's good.
It's so fucking good.
I'm gonna grab a drink real fast while Knox not here yet. So.
Fuck me. Can't believe that.
I'm back.
We're still waiting on Knox.
Okay.
When I told my wife what happened, I was like, pretty sure it's over before it started.
I don't think it's that bad, dude. Just shit happens.
Yeah.
And we were all expecting I think we were all expecting something like this to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, just not the first one, man.
I was like, oh shit, is he worried about the editing? I mean, I didn't feel like there was a lot that we had to cut out. Like, I mentioned one bit
there was 2 parts.
Yeah.
Would have been pretty easy.
The bit I mentioned, and then the stuff about weed. Like, that's like really it. But and I was like, what do you mean, homie?
Oh man.
Oof. I mean, to be fair, I remembered that there was a live thing last time, so it's also on me for not mentioning anything.
It's a team effort, but I'm still going to take 99.97% of this blame.
That's a good thing to come back to, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about how I was like, it's also kind of on me because I remembered that there was a live thing last time, and I didn't mention it when I noticed it wasn't there. I was like, that live thing's not there. It doesn't matter.
I'm so embarrassed. Knox, I'm so sorry, man.
Oh no, dude! It wasn't like I was away long because of that. It was literally I had to go get Tylenol and shit.
No, you did it. I wanted to apologize because that's, in the words of my wife, that's such a Drew move. And as I told Ez, I have like 20 hours of recorded YouTube footage where my mic has been muted. And like I'll record like hour-long videos just talking and then not notice. And then it's like, oh, tight.
Let's see if I can redo that again.
All right,
man. This is going to be interesting because, like, I know I know I'm not going to be able to like mimic the same aspect I had. But
so we can cut down whatever you feel like the last time you said that doesn't need to be there. Just don't do it. Okay. Because I have a couple of things that I'm like, we don't need to hear about that.
I'm obviously I wouldn't bring up the interviews again, and we don't need to bring up the weed again.
Yeah.
But like other than that, I don't know. I felt like the flow was pretty solid, and we had decent conversations in there. It's just about just match the energy. Like,
definitely.
Like I'm just gonna do what I did last time, and as the shit comes up, like just talk about my feelings.
Yeah.
Well, and me and Ez also said we should lean into this. Like we should make fun of the fact that we have to talk about it twice.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, as I said in the last video, the one that you didn't record,
yeah. So this is technically the second episode.
But it's
the
really
second first episode. Oh my god. All right, let's all right. It says live. We're good to go.
It does say live. It says live on my end.
So you can edit out whatever the fuck you want from here as long as there's a decent interval of time in between.
There we go. All right. Hello and welcome everyone to the Best in Slot Radio Podcast, a podcast focused on Final Fantasy XIV, its game design and features, as well as how it compares against other games in the market. I'm one of your hosts, DTG, and with me is Ez and Knox. Say hi, boys.
What's up, homies? I'm Ez.
I'm Knox. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Now, with this being our first episode, I didn't hit the record button even though we talked for an hour, so that's great. Yeah. Let's talk about who we are. So, Knox, who are you? What do you main? And what other games have you played or are currently playing right now?
All right, to kind of, go through the dry run, aka the live run, aka the live run take 2.
I was about to say, I feel like you kind of rolled over that, D. I mean,
it's all my fault. So I kind of wanted to.
For the listeners at home, we've already recorded this entire podcast episode. But someone D forgot to hit record. So take 2.
It was a warm up, right? It was a warm up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyways, to kind of kick it off, I'm the father of soon to be 3. I got 2 young boys right now. Well, 1 preteen and 1.5. I work as a technical analyst based in Wisconsin. Started Final Fantasy back in Heavensward days. Kind of fell off a bit there due to family things and just my career actually starting to kick off back then. And recently came back after I quit WoW in February to, was it this summer, late June, early July, somewhere around there. And I've been hooked ever since. My main love is primarily DPS classes, but there's a certain thing about guns and lasers with the machinist. It's just
and chainsaws, man.
I'm looking for
the chainsaws. I forgot about the chainsaws.
Being a Final Fantasy VI nerd, that's such a sweet addition.
Yes, it's gonna be sweet. But not just love on the machinist. I do also love the ninja, Dragoon, and actually recently I've been working on the Red Mage, so that's pretty awesome.
So good.
My favorite caster by far, Red Mage.
Yeah.
Res Mage.
It's kind of the only
Represent.
one I've dabbled with, so it's definitely my favorite by default.
Don't play the other ones. I mean, maybe play New Summoner. but-
Whoa. New Summoner and Black Mage hype. All right. Don't what are you talking about?
It's too much work.
On that note, it feels like kind of leaving out the tanky boys there, and I gotta admit, Gunbreaker has been I've been dabbling with that a bit.
Yes.
I really have fallen in love. It may even be my main for Endwalker, but
Whoa.
I don't know.
We got a
That
squad.
commitment. All right.
Kind of going back a little bit on other gaming history. I mean, man, I've been gaming since she's a wee young tyke. Going through, I mean, well, at that rate, I was like, I think I was like 6 or 7. Picked up Pokemon games, and shortly thereafter, picked up Final Fantasy. I would say played all of them, but I've played pretty much all of them. Sadly, I actually never finished OG 7 and 8.
So good. They're both so good.
Went through pretty much all of them, but 100% in 10 and 10 too. I've loved all of them, though. All the ones I've played. But other than that, kind of other MMO history, dabbled with Rift a bit, SWTOR, Star Wars Old Republic, Guild Wars 2 a lot, actually.
It's a good game.
Yeah, definitely love their legendaries, of course. But kind of other games of interest also, got to keep it, fresh in sorts. But Diablo 2, Teamfight Tactics, kind of went for that more tactical approach. I like go for Divinity Original Sin 2.
Nice.
Oh man, that's some good stuff. But also more recent that's going to be coming out. It's actually in early access right now. Is Baldur's Gate 3. That is
D&D. D&D.
Yes.
D&D.
It's I mean, I'm not like hype it up or anything, but yeah, like patch 6 is coming out soon, and like, oh man, it's gonna be a panel from hell coming out later this week. It's definitely a good time to.
It's definitely. I've dabbled. I've dabbled some. It's solid. It feels good.
Yeah, I mean, kind of from there though. I mean, other hobbies that I really dig. Miniature painting, that's a real big passion of mine. Reading, pretty much, I like fantasy, sci-fi novels. And as a side note from there, anything and everything Warhammer. It's just definitely a big passion of mine where I just feel to.
We definitely in the future have to have a podcast where we talk about minis and paintings.
Yeah,
because that is.
I just want to chill and listen because I like when people are passionate about shit, and that would be such a great one to be. I'm not inundated. We talked about it last week a little bit, but I know nothing about that and would love to hear about it.
I gotta make sure I have my camera ready for that one because I mean, not like I'm gonna show off.
But you're totally gonna show off.
I gotta show my work, right? It's in those math classes when the teachers are like, "Show your work." I'm like, "Don't worry, I will show my work." Like I did the work.
Speaking of you two of you showing off, we also need to have a dedicated podcast. You guys talking about cooking again?
I'd be all right with that.
Yes, I am more than happy to learn from Master D over here.
Yeah. I mean, I'll teach what I can, but I'm no master. I mean, Bobby Flay just turned down $100 million, so life's not going that great.
Oh man. But I mean, like, I guess picking up where Knox let off, like I much like in my life and very ADHD with video games, I bounce to a new video game what feels like every week. Like last week it was New World, except I didn't even fucking touch New World because these two put it in my head that it's going to explode my computer.
Just the GPU.
Yeah.
Just my GPU. That's fine. I can work without that, right? And then yesterday it was like, oh yeah, but Back for Blood it's out today. That's the new Left 4 Dead, homie. Right? Yeah, Back for Blood. Oh, it looks so good. Like I just love playing video games, like all kinds of video games. And like the thing that I main in 14 is all the tanks. Like I main Dark Knight right now. For story reasons, but also because I'm an edgelord.
Edgelord.
moving into, I definitely am an edgelord. But like in moving into Endwalker, I'm going to try to main paladin. It is boring as shit right now.
The changes look good.
The changes look super good. I love the new sword AoE combo, like everyone does, because it looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
blade works. But yeah, I main all the tanks. I love playing tank. That's my favorite role. I also dabble in like melee DPS, so like samurai, ninja, monk. It's so good.
You like monk right now?
Like is a strong word.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I like the role. If I'm gonna play melee DPS, it's probably gonna be Sam.
Yeah.
Also because I beat angry black mages like my friends in DPS. You have to stand in your stupid little. It's fine. I just have the dancers and everyone else give me all their buffs because I'm the best. Bye.
As long as you're pumping, right?
That's literally it's all they do. That's their one thing. But like
sucks.
other
video games like Bloodborne is the best video game of all time, right next to 14. Do not at me.
Man, how could I forget about Soul Series games?
Yeah, like it's just oh man, there's a boss, like, because I'm super into game design. There's a boss near the end of it where you walk into an arena, the music stops. You're walking across the corpses of hundreds of hunters that are trying to kill this thing and have failed. And you're hearing the bones break as you walk across them.
That's pretty sweet. That's a good immersive story right there.
That's game design. And that's what I'm looking for when I'm playing all of these games across all of these different things. Like the first game I ever played as like a kid was Diablo, 6 years old.
Yeah,
because my father's a monster, I guess.
Well, yeah, the butcher, man.
Oh god, that traumatized me. Like Diablo 3, when that showed up again, I was like,
I'm 6.
You're gonna die, butcher.
I went back in time. But like in the first game I ever beat by myself was Metal Gear Solid, like beating the shit out of Liquid and riding off into the sunset with Meryl. Good shit.
What a game.
Yeah, I love Metal Gear. But like going into MMOs, my experience is with like I played WoW for 15 years since I was like 12.
It's gotten shitty. All right, let's.
It has.
It a good game?
It was a good game. But like,
well, it lasted.
It's probably still lasts for some time at least.
Personal opinion, but you know.
Touche. But I've also dabbled in stuff like fucking the other dead MMO WildStar.
Yeah, that one's actually dead though. That's the
that is like dead. That's not like memeing dead. That's like dead.
Yeah, like you can't log in, kind of dead.
Yeah, and I've also tried 14 before. Like I tried years and years ago, back when Heavensward first dropped, because like I saw the cinematic of the Dragoon, and I was like,
yeah,
this is the shit. This is it. But I dropped it because like $15 a month sub, and I was still a kid back then, and I was like, yeah,
it can be a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with this thing in WoW, and I didn't come back until like just over a year ago, when one of my favorite YouTubers, Jesse Cox, who we'll talk about in future podcasts, I saw him doing like a playthrough of it. And I'm like, well, I mean, if this guy who I've been watching since fucking Cataclysm is into it this much, then I'm gonna give it a shot. And it was like, that's when COVID first dropped, and like I no-lifed the shit out of 14. Like, it was amazing just playing nothing but 14 and just experiencing the story and all it had to offer.
Such a good one too.
But like, I think that's all I got. D?
Yeah, so shit, where am I? Sorry, we've done this twice now, so this fucks with me. Father of one. My wife and I live out in Denver, but let's talk about 14. I made Astro, and I can play all the healers. I'll play Sage, but I don't think this is gonna change anytime soon. So Astro it is. That's it's like 3 jobs in one because I've gotten a new one every expansion. So I feel pretty great about it. You know, card system's always fucking
another
changing.
summoner.
Yeah, I'm just like, fuck, man, I gotta learn something new every time. But outside of that, I just I mean, I played a ton of games in my life, but CSGO and Rocket League is my competitive off time, and it's great. But I've got 17 years of WoW experience, which means I was in the alpha, and yeah, I'm that old. And
Old
Guild
school.
Wars 2, Terra. You know, I played a little bit of Rift, not great, but you know, other MMOs as well. And then 14, I played multiple different iterations. So like I played patch 2.3. I rated the first tier in Heaven's Ward. Came back 3 weeks before Shadowbringers was going to drop, completed up to Shadowbringers, and then quit like 4 days into Shadowbringers because I was rating hardcore and WoW. And then I dropped WoW for good back in February and have been playing this as my main game ever since, and do not regret a second of it. And that's going to be a little surface level about who we are. The goal for us is to showcase to you, the listener, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you know, the viewer, our passion's not only about Final Fantasy 14, but gaming in general. And what I want to get into next is a segment you'll see pop up in later episodes when we get into a little bit more focused conversations. I'm going to dub it 2L1H for short, but it's 2 things you love and 1 thing you hate. So since this is our first episode, let's make this very broad and go with 14 as a whole. So as kick us off, what are 2 things you absolutely love about 14?
The storytelling, right? Like, just the overall storytelling and narrative of 14 is mind-boggling to me, because like even in a single player game, right, where you are playing something that is crafted around a character, the fact is like that's not necessarily your character.
Right.
Like, you go into Halo, you're playing as Master Chief. You go into Gears of War, you're playing as Marcus Phoenix. Like, it's not really you, but in 14, an MMO, you're the hero. Yeah. And it's not like you're the hero kind of shtick that you get from other MMOs. No, you are the fucking hero.
Well, they do a great job of making you feel like you earn it. So when you play,
yeah, like
shit.
there's too many people that rag on A Realm Reborn. Too many.
Agreed.
Like, you have to build up to the point where it actually feels like you earn it. Like, it from A Realm Reborn into Heaven's Word, where you're treated like a nobody again, and you're earning the respect and the praise of this kind of like microcosm of a community that is Ishgard. Like, that really starts to give you this understanding of like, oh, I am the hero.
Right.
It is about me. And then it just gets better and better and better from that point. Like, it is insane to me how good the story is. And like, kind of like, and I warning the viewer, like the listeners now, we all have played WoW, and there will be some like comparatives to it and like other MMOs. But like, WoW's story is shit. I don't think I have to like really explain that to it's especially you two. But like, it's just gone downhill, and it was never solid to begin with. Right. Speaking of things in WoW that aren't solid, player base. So when I transitioned over to like 14 and like just to try it over a year ago, I was very literally blown away by like all of the expectations people had set up for me. Like, oh, the player base is so open and caring and kind. And it's like, yeah, okay. and then you get into it, and they kind of are. Like as a recommendation for the viewers to watch, and both of you guys, there's this YouTube channel called Captain Grimm.
Oh yeah,
and he makes machinima, which, if you don't know, machinima is the art of taking in-game assets from a video game and like moving them in a model viewer to make like a story, a short. He does it really well. But he just released a video about like going from World of Warcraft and his experience to Final Fantasy 14. And it's not only funny because all of his videos are funny. If you like that video, highly recommend subscribing to him and just watching all his shit.
They're all like that.
But it's not just funny, but like as a WoW player, it's also really sad because it's true. Like we have put up with a toxic standard for so long that is so subpar and not acceptable that it very literally blows our minds to go into a video game where people are just, baseline bogline standard nice. Yeah. It's not
common courtesy, right? Like
common courtesy.
It's like we set the bar so low for so long that we don't remember what a bar is.
Yep. Exactly.
And it's insane to me. But like, okay, I'm done ranting. Knox, what do you got, bro?
Well, I mean, to kind of go off on there, I mean, not to kind of rail more on the story, but just to kind of piggyback off that, the immersion, and like how they actually tell an emotional story and they make you feel invested. Like I'll admit, ARR is a bit of a slog, but it definitely sets it up, and like it literally sets up the next rest of the expansions, literally into where we're going to Endwalker right now, and like. From there, once you even get into Heavensward, it's just a roller coaster. Like not like going for bad, it's just like, okay, there's a little bit of a slow build up here going on, and then all of a sudden it's just like, bam, what the hell? Who did what? Who is this? She did what?
Yeah, it's so good.
And that's even just the tip of the iceberg, no pun intended, Ishgard and all.
It's not even like it's not even like it's a good story for an MMO. It's just a great story.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And from there, not to beat like the great story to death or anything, but shift into that, like the optional grinds that are just, they're not absolutely mind numbing. Like all the relic grinds, they actually like. I guess the easy way to say it is like they kind of feel like they respect your time. Like I get that, it's grindy. Like case in point, like final tier resistance weapon, slogging through, what is it, like 90 raids? Like
the Lubrum or whatever, Resonate.
Don't get me started.
Oh, we will. We will.
Like the books with freaking ARR. Jeez. I hate those things.
I hate them.
But at the same time, like that's just kind of what I like doing in the off time, like when I'm not actually actively grinding something out, or like, that is actually what I'm actively grinding, or I don't have like a certain, like, all right, gonna try and like push out to get like this kind of gear tonight or something or another. That's just the baseline. Like, okay, gotta work on that. Like, just nice and relaxing.
Yeah, it feels good when it doesn't feel mandatory. Like in other games, it can feel like I have to grind this. And in this, it's like, well, if you don't want it, you don't have to do it. It's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just for like, look at this cool glamour weapon. And it's like,
to actually give credit where credit's due, Guild Wars 2 had a great model for that, where there wasn't really like an itemization factor of like, you got to keep climbing that gear chain. But like, I don't know. I really like Final Fantasy's aspect of how they handle their gear too. Like it's definitely the creep, right? But it's not. It doesn't feel overbearing. Where WoW,
it's exponential. It's too much. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. It feels like the entirety of like the system is based around that stupid fucking grind.
Yeah.
Whereas in like this game, it's like, hey, you want a cool weapon if you're raiding, maybe, or just for glamour. Here's a grind.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad one. It's a fun one.
Yeah, but even in like actual release and progression of like how the systems are, it's not it's its own niche, right? Like it's its own area of like, okay, raiders are gonna grind to progress this, and they're gonna get that, and there you go. Like that's just that. Like those are gonna be the people that grind out the highest tier of armor, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like me on release, when I hit 90, I'm probably not gonna dive right into endgame. I'm gonna be like, shit, what else do I want to start bringing up to 90 now?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean that kind of wraps up my two main, I guess, loves, if you will.
Sure. We're saving the hates for last, folks.
The hates the sour topics, so we might as well. Well, if I haven't mentioned it before, in the first recording, I talked about how much I liked the. Sorry, I have to. I mean, fuck, I can't believe I fucking did that. I'm sorry. Narrowing it down, the questing system is completely exponentially better than anything I've ever experienced in 14. MSQ driving the bus, it's like, hey, all I have to do is focus on this, and I will get to the end of the story. Love that. And then the clarity of the quest icons, I think, is not something that gets talked about a lot, but like, those blue plus marks are going to be unlock quests. What side quests look like, what repeatable and beast tribe quests looks like it's very, very clear. And then the integration with the map and how easy it is to navigate versus, all of us came from WoW where you better have 3 different add-ons to tell you the exact same thing.
Yep.
And even then you're just like, wait, where? And it sucks. That's so to come over to something that's fully fleshed out in game, and especially since this game has no add-ons, like it's great. And
it makes it really easy when I recommend 14 to friends. Like, hey, do the one with the fire around it. That's the only one you need to worry about.
Right.
You can pick up the blue ones along the way. Don't worry about literally anything else.
Yep.
Yeah,
Very cut and dry.
Yeah, and it's as people have made the comparisons, this is an RPG MMO versus an MMO RPG
for sure.
And you get a lot of value out of this game, and that brings me to my second absolute love about this is having experience in MMOs. The crafting and gathering system in Final Fantasy 14 is the best crafting and gathering system in any game.
Hands down, no competition.
It's so fucking good. Like, who went out of their way to turn these into real immersive jobs, put quest lines and story building into it, and make engaging gameplay on a gathering profession? You're a saint. I'm like blown away like how good it is.
Like I have a friend who 90% of the stuff he does in game is just related to crafting and gathering and making a shitload of gil with it. Yeah. He was like, hey homie, I hit 100 mil today. What should I buy? And I'm like, I don't fucking.
How about me a house?
Yeah, get me a house in Ishgard, you stingy fucker.
Okay, let's do hate. Who's going first?
Fuck the feast. You viewers do not understand because you weren't here for the first episode, but I still have enough hate for the feast in me to keep going. So we're going to talk about the feast in depth in a later episode, so I'm only going to hit on bullet points here, but they're hate-filled bullet points. So firstly, the queue times. Fuck me, the queue times. It took me the longest queue I was in to play a single 5-minute round of the feast was 3 hours. 3 hours of just
one who sat in that. That's what blows my mind.
Yeah, I'm not. It's like, so I got into the feast because I was like, okay, I'm really into PvP. I do it in other games like FPS games, and I did it in WoW. I want to try PvP in this game. People laughed at me. They're like, yeah, good fucking luck. And I was like, okay, what is this feast thing? This is the equivalent to like WoW's arena system. I want to try that. That seems like fun to me. So I look into it. And it just so happens that there's a season going on. But the season, and this is going to be important for the later episode, I got into the season late, about a month late. So I go to start queuing into it. Queues take time, worst of them being 3 hours. Next bullet point, fucking players are awful. What do I mean by that? The Feast community is where all of the toxic people go. That is not an exaggeration. Like, if you want a microcosm of what it's like to do like either high-end PvP or high-end raiding in like World of Warcraft, go and do the Feast and talk with the players. You will find it. It is there.
I would love to pop a blood vessel in my eye freaking out about this, but I feel like I have better things to do because the amount of hate you throw this way, I'm just like so dissuaded from trying this.
And like I think
I'm just thinking, I'm like, damn, I just dread if it pops up in my freaking Chloe journal. Like, what do
I
you
do
mean?
everything I can to click the retry button and hope that one.
No. But like, and here's the worst part. And it's something that I'll really dig into come the episode. Top 100. In retrospect, that sounds really cool, right? Like, oh my god, there's like a top 100
right?
board, and it's like that's so cool. But one, all of the rewards are limited to top 100, outside of a thing called Wolf Collars, which good luck with that, I guess. I don't know. It's a weapon.
Jeez.
So it's like, okay, that's kind of shitty. Rewards are limited to top 100, but okay. I mean, fucking get good, I guess. Oh no, it gets worse because players will make alts within an like a group. So you know how all the realms are tied together for like a data center?
Yeah.
They will make alts to knock other people out of the top 100 deliberately.
What?
That is
And
why
get
they
another
make
alts?
the alts.
What?
In the season that I participated, there were no less than 30 alts. And I have talked with these players. I had conversations with them and played with them. And I say, why? And they're like, to knock out the scrubs.
Wow.
That is literally a response I got.
Jesus.
So I am going to now bring back in the hate and hold it in. Nox, what is something you hate in Final Fantasy XIV?
I mean, compared to that, I mean, mine's maybe a mild distaste. But you know,
with rage.
Yeah, a definite big gripe I would say of mine is the inventory management. I know I'm not alone with this. There's some nice things.
Give me more glamour.
Yes, like the 400 slots, like that. You think, okay, when I say 400, you're like, oh, okay. But if you do glamours, you and I both know that is not enough. Like,
it isn't. It like one of the huge selling points of 14 is like, hey, play all the classes and things on one character.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a big
Homie,
now,
you run out of room fucking fast.
in defense, I can say, right, let's say, 400 glam slots like that. That might be enough for like one character for like anything and everything that they would do for that one class, right? That one class, anything and ever forever. But not when we have as many as we do. Like this is
like 18?
Yeah, 18 classes, and like don't get me started with crafting. Like
crafting and gatherers.
And they only give you glamour plates 1-for-1 for classes, not your gatherers and crafters.
Damn.
So if you have all of the classes unlocked, including crafters and gatherers, you can only assign enough plates to the 18.
Jesus. That's like a real problem for people who care about that.
D, you said this last time, and I will. Nox and I are going to throw hands.
About it.
You fucking bastard.
Fuck? Why are you looking at your character? You should be avoiding mechanics. Get the fuck out of those circles.
How dare you?
I like to avoid mechanics and look good doing it, sir.
I don't like the stock armor. I think my astrologian has nothing but the 510 crafted stuff, and she looks terrible, and I could care less. I like the weapon.
Wow.
It hurts.
All right.
The
I can actually say the crafted tanking set actually does look pretty spicy, just in general.
But the idea is that
Astro
you're
looks
supposed
terrible.
to do glamour in general. Come
Yeah,
on.
weapons.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at weapons, but outside of that, I really don't care what my character looks like. I look like a clown. Like,
I mean,
honestly,
look, there
Everybody
are right
got it.
opinions and wrong opinions, and sometimes you
And
find
you're
yourself
wrong.
on the wrong side of things. You fucking bastard.
Yeah, just like an asshole, everybody
Hey,
has one.
hey,
Doesn't mean
hey,
it's
D.
right.
D, what does a record button look like again? Can you tell me?
well, I can now. It's blue and it says record on it, and I did not click it the first time. I'm glad we can laugh about it now because like I told
we
Ez,
were
I
also
was,
distraught.
well, when I walked away and told my wife, I was like, well, I might have killed it before it started, so this is great.
We never came back.
It's just signed off.
Knox went to get
I'm
a bear
done.
and never came back.
Yeah. User has gone offline. It's just over.
Rip.
All right, so I saved mine for last on the hate, but I think objectively speaking, 14 crushes a lot of stuff. It really just depends on, some stuff is just okay, some stuff is above average. It's personal taste, but I think what sucks most is not exactly about gameplay or game design, but there is a small subset of the community that has a very, very deep sense of tribalism and gatekeeping, and it is really upsetting because these are the kind of people who can't hear anything wrong about 14. They don't handle criticism well. They are typically ones who are hostile on Reddit, and I think the biggest one that really sets me off, and I'm trying to let it go, but the term WoW refugee feels like it's been used as a blanket statement, and it just encompasses anybody who came from WoW. And if you do the timeline, me and Knox both quit in February. Or me and Ez both came back in February. Knox came back in July. All this happened before this fucking lawsuit. And we're unfortunately lumped into this category. And I feel like the treatment of these players, this small subset, which I have a Static member who, she probably will listen to this. And this is nothing against her, but we've had talks, and she has somewhat of a jaded perspective, in my opinion, but I kind of get it because she's explains that she's had very bad experiences in WoW. And having been one of those players in the top of WoW's spectrum, if you will, it sucks up there. People are fucking assholes.
Yeah, it is a lot of toxicity at the top.
Big time. It feels awful. And the unfortunate thing is they're some of the best players. So if you are competitive, you got to stick to it.
Here's my thing, though. Just going off that point and dabbing a little into the feast again. Yeah. One of the players I talked with was like, "This is just PvP, bro. If you can't handle this shit and this kind of attitude, you shouldn't be here." Like that's so fucked. It's like, no, it's because you act like that this exists.
Right.
Yeah. Because you think that's okay.
That kind of attitude just shouldn't be tolerated. Like, you're the reason this shit is so awful.
Well, and I understand where some people are coming from, having such bad experiences. It's why we're all over here.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you're so closed off to it, there's really no opportunity for the players who don't operate like that to showcase that, to a point where I don't tell people, I've told my Static, but I don't tell people when I'm playing that, hey, I'm a WoW refugee, or hey, I used to play WoW. I played this game before. I told you guys that. And it just sucks that we're all kind of lumped together because that's a label I really don't want to carry.
Yeah, for sure. I can understand 14 being on a pedestal for a lot of people, especially when they've stuck with it for as long as they have. But we all just love this game, and when we point criticisms or we make comments about things or compare it to other things like WoW, it isn't because we're shitting on 14. We just want the game to be as good as possible.
Yeah.
Literally, as a comparison for the listeners, you hold 14 on one side and you hold WoW on the other. 14 has a couple of things that it could do to really make it a superb video game.
Absolutely.
Versus WoW, that's 90% shit.
Yeah. They designed the top stuff good, and that's it.
Yeah. But you can't look at me and tell me as a 14 player the Feast is the best arena system in any game because I'll fucking deck you. Like, I've
It's not.
done 3v3s
There's no
in WoW, and like
Yeah.
that shit is popping. That
Oh, yeah.
is fun at high ratings.
Those high rating players have like strategies and reactions to specific shit that's going on. Like,
And while
there's chess being played.
like I can believe a level of that is in the Feast, but like they're not one for one.
Not when there's
Boy.
30 alts.
Like fucking at all. So yeah, like 14's great.
Yeah,
There are
14
things
is
that
great.
could be better. Sorry.
No, it's absolutely right, and that's the goal. You know,
Sorry, not sorry.
After recording this for a second time now, I think we do the hate part from now on first, so that way we can end on a happy note.
Yeah. Happy notes. We can all fucking hate the Feast together. That makes me happy.
I'm interested to learn more of your hate, sir.
Oh, you will when I go in depth about all of the things I dragged.
We'll do a PvP episode in the future because I like the front line.
Yeah, Frontline's good.
Yeah, it's really good. So, all right.
I mean, now we know. Like, I think that's it for this one, guys.
We trimmed this down quite a bit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Comparatively to the other one. This is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean,
Cool. Yeah, it looks like we trimmed off about like 20 minutes. Sounds like.
Yeah.
yeah, about 20 minutes, which we probably would have only cut like 5, if that, from the first.
Yeah, if
one.
that.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
All
I'll take
Let's
us
hit
out
the
of here.
last 3. Yeah, let's do this.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. I hope this episode. Damn it, I'm starting that
You
over.
good? You good?
All right. Awesome. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. I hope this episode was enough to wet your whistle and see what else we have to talk about. Going forward, Easy, D, and I plan on recording weekly, posted every Thursday to wherever you get your podcast or over on YouTube. The link will be below in the description.
Along with a link to that Machinima video we talked about before.
Yeah, Captain Grimm. I'll take care of that. I'll put that down below.
Yeah, I think, look, homies, you need to get into that. That's the good shit.
That's the shit. No, I've seen it. It's great.
Yeah, but so next week we'll have episode 2, 3.
2.5. 2.5.
2.5.
There we go.
We're gonna discuss like Shadowbringers as a whole, you know, each of the patches, the MSQ stuff, all of the different jobs, and how they kind of like went and how they felt like going through Shadowbringers, because we did have Gunbreaker and Dancer introduced in this expansion.
Oh yeah.
All the trials, Eden, fucking all the weapon fights. Oh god, the storyline for the weapon fights. And the relic grind, which someone, Nox, has a problem with, apparently.
Maybe not the grind itself, just some aspects.
Look, I'll give you Bosch's like flat and boring to look at as shit, but like the raid, that is
Yeah.
the
I
best
haven't done it
raid.
yet.
It is so good.
I
I've
had to
only
die
done
inside
Castrum.
6
I did
times.
Castrum for the first time last night, and it's amazing.
It is the first real introduction you have to fuck you hard.
Yeah, it's great.
Castrum's,
I love it.
Castrum's better than Delibrum originally.
Well, that's
But-
unfortunate.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, it just killed me a lot.
Oh man. Well, we'll talk about that, and I think that'll be episode 2, right? We're
Oh,
gonna do
yeah.
Basha? Yeah, we'll do Basha and Zadnor in the next one. But this has been the second recording of the first episode of Bested Slot Radio. I'm DTG. From me and my 2 co-hosts, Ez and Knox. Thank you so much for giving us a listen, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Cool.